Are you making the switch to a capsule wardrobe or perhaps just decluttering your closet? Well, either way, you've come to the right place because today we're going to talk about how to declutter clothing that otherwise we are finding very difficult to let go of. When getting rid of clothes, we often find ourselves looking at certain pieces that we know that we aren't wearing, pieces that we know we likely won't wear again, but having a hard time emotionally and psychologically letting them go. Having clothes in our closet that fit us well, that are practical to our lifestyle, that are comfortable, that reflect who we are and what we believe, and clothes that we enjoy wearing, those are the only things that have a place in our closets. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 4 common reasons that we keep clothes that we really need to get rid of. I'm Dana with Living Quite Simply, and I'm really excited, so let's get right into it. The first category of clothing that we have a difficult time parting with are sentimental items. Getting rid of sentimental items can be very difficult. You love the giver, but the piece isn't working for you. It might be the wrong size, it might be a color that's not complementary to you, it might just not be your style. Whatever the reason is, you're holding on to it, you're not wearing it, but you're conflicted because there's the idea that if you let go of this item, it somehow is a reflection on your relationship with the person who gave it to you. But there's not. You can appreciate the sentiment, you can love the giver, while simultaneously acknowledging that this particular item just isn't something that's working for you. My husband and I have been married for 12 years, and I can think of a number of times throughout our marriage where he's gotten me a gift or I've gotten him a gift, and it just didn't work. And there just doesn't need to be any guilt involved with that. The item may not work, but you still love the person. It doesn't make you love the person any less. The second category of clothing that we find difficult to get rid of sometimes are rundown items. Now, I'm not saying that we have a difficult time getting rid of all rundown items. It might be a little bit nostalgic. Perhaps it's something that you got in college or in high school, and it reminds you of a different time. Maybe at one time it was your favorite piece. It's very likely that the piece is comfortable. Usually when we're keeping rundown clothing, it is something that is pretty comfortable. But if the clothing has a hole, if it has a stain, or if it's otherwise in somewhat of a questionable condition, then you should really part with that item. It is not serving you well. Now, if you are keeping the piece because it is something that's a little bit nostalgic, maybe you were a track star in college, and so getting rid of your track hoodie is difficult to do. Just remember, you were still a track star. And you may even consider getting a different item in its place. If it is something that's sentimental because it was from a certain time period, find something to replace it that's in better condition. But if you do have a rundown piece and you're only keeping it because it is comfortable, find something else that's comfortable. Go out and buy something nice for yourself that's comfortable, that you can afford, and that doesn't have holes and stains, and this type of a thing. The third common category of clothing that we have difficulty getting rid of are clothing that no longer fit. These clothes most often are too small. And we've been told that by keeping these clothes and having them right there in our closet, that this will motivate us to lose weight. But more often, they do the opposite. It brings down our morale because as we go to our closet, we're constantly reminded of a failure on our part to lose the weight that we are intending to lose. That's pretty discouraging. My advice is to keep the goal. There's nothing wrong with the goal, but get rid of the clothes that are reminding you that you haven't done it yet. Or I recommend boxing them up so that in the future, when they will fit you, then you will have them there ready for you. But in the meantime, they're not there as a constant reminder that you have not yet met that goal. Likewise, if you are a nursing or a pregnant mom, then you should also box up your clothes that don't serve you in this time period. Anything that's not serving us well in the current season of life that we're in should be boxed up until later. Personally, I find that when I box things up, when I go and I start looking through my boxes to find clothes because I'm in a new season, it feels like I've gone shopping. It feels like I'm getting new clothes because I haven't seen them. And when we have those clothes and we just see them day after day, it kind of ruins the excitement. So if your clothes are not currently fitting you, please get them out of your closet. The fourth reason that we oftentimes hold on to clothes is out of guilt. These are clothing that maybe we spent too much money for, maybe we brought them home and we realized that we really don't have anything to wear it with. Or maybe it was something that we bought because it was a popular trend, but it's not our style and we're just not wearing it. Typically, the things that we're holding on to out of guilt were impulse purchases, and we don't need to hold on to those clothes. My suggestion for those clothes is to get rid of them entirely. You are not going to keep them. And holding on to that guilt isn't healthy either. I really recommend learning from the experience. Acknowledge your mistake, grow from it, and learn to shop intentionally so you don't make the same mistake in the future. So let's go through the categories again. Sentimental clothing, rundown items, clothing that no longer fits, and clothing that we're keeping out of guilt. Holding on to clothes from any one of these categories makes it very unlikely that we're going to wear them just by the mere fact that they're in our closet. If we're not wearing them currently, it's for a reason. If after watching this video, you go into your closet and you find clothes that you're holding onto for any one of these 4 reasons and you decide to get rid of it, I really commend you. It is not easy to make that shift mentally. But if you go to your closet and you recognize a piece that fits into one of these 4 categories that you know you're not going to wear, but you're having a difficult time parting with it still, then I really recommend that you take the item and box it up. When we box that item up in our closet or wherever it is that we're going to store it, we can make the decision to revisit it later. Often after we've been separated from that item for a certain length of time, then it really does take the emotion out of it and we're able to think more objectively about the item. Do you see yourself in any of these categories? Let me know which ones in the comments below. You probably know that decluttering is an important step in transitioning to a capsule wardrobe. And while that is one important step, there are other steps as well. And I am working on a video right now on how I went from a closet full of clothes to transitioning to the 10-item wardrobe. And so if you're interested in videos on this topic, please subscribe because I think that you would be interested in seeing practically how I went from point A to point B and sharing some helpful hints with you along the way so that you too can do the same thing if you haven't yet. Well, friends, that's all for now. Until next time, bye.